Previously on Battle 360. USS Enterprise has led the American war effort for 3 solid years. From Pearl Harbor to the climactic Battle of Leyte Gulf, her string of victories has earned the ship the nickname Lucky E. But this war is not over. Japan has unleashed a terrifying new weapon: suicide planes. Kamikaze attacks will bring Enterprise the highest casualties of the entire war. And the ship's fabled luck may be about to run out. USS Enterprise, a fighting city of steel. She is the most revered and decorated ship of World War II. On this 360-degree battlefield, where threats loom on the seas, in the skies, and in the ocean depths, the Enterprise's enemies could be anywhere and everywhere. There's nowhere to run when the battle's all around you. Battle 360, USS Enterprise, the Empire's last stand. This series is brought to you with limited commercials by the men and women of Enterprise Rent-A-Car. January 10th, 1945, 3 a.m. A squadron of bombers and fighters launch off the deck of USS Enterprise. Commander Bill Martin asks the flyers of Enterprise to take on one of the most dangerous operations of the war. No one turns him down.
He's the kind of an officer that he says, tonight we're going to fly into hell and back, and you'd go right with him.
For 3 solid years, USS Enterprise has been leading America's war in the Pacific. No other ship has seen so much combat. No other vessel has won so many victories.
This ship saw all of the high points of the war against Japan.
She defeated Japan, not single-handed, but she was out there in the precarious times when nobody else was out there.
She may have missed a few battles, but she didn't miss many.
Now, 3 years after Pearl Harbor, Enterprise unleashes a new strategy against the Japanese Empire: night air attacks. 300 miles away from Enterprise, 15 ships of a Japanese convoy run supplies to the Imperial fleet under cover of darkness. They hug the coast of what is now Vietnam. The 21 Enterprise Nightbirds spot the fat target near dawn and go to work. Lieutenant Russ Kippen leads the attack in his torpedo bomber. He's already a hero, an experienced night fighter who led the daring attack on Truck Lagoon in 1944. Now, he sets his sights on a Japanese light cruiser. Soaring in at only 500 feet above sea level, Kippen drops both of his bombs. They bracket the cruiser, forcing her to veer off. Another bomber begins his run and hits a destroyer mid-ship. At the same time, Hellcat fighters tear up the decks of the ships with machine gun fire. The Hellcats have a new weapon in their arsenal: high-velocity rockets. Each fighter can fire off 6 rockets so powerful, they gain the nickname Holy Moses. They travel at over 1,300 feet per second, with a range of over 6,000 feet, and an explosive warhead that can penetrate armor. The rockets rip from beneath the Hellcat's wings, punching holes in one of the merchant ships. When the Enterprise bombers break off the attack near dawn, 3 ships are sunk. 2 more are damaged and heading for shore. And another 2 ships are dead in the water. It's been a good night. This is the new face of warfare. A trail being blazed by Enterprise and her men as they lay claim to the night. Two weeks before, Enterprise steamed out of Pearl Harbor on Christmas Eve. She had undergone some major renovations, including new landing lights and new planes, each equipped with the newest radar technology. Radar already allows ships to see incoming threats. But more importantly, the aircraft-mounted radar gives the Allied forces a new tactical advantage: flying at night. In addition to new technology, now Enterprise also has a new designation. She was once CV-6. Now she is CVN-6.
The N stood for night operations, so she becomes the first and only night operating carrier.
Commander Bill Martin is the mastermind behind night fighting. But night operations has its detractors in the Navy brass.
It was very controversial. They thought, why are we doing this new thing? Why are we doing night operations? We're already winning the war.
Bill Martin has his own personal mission: to prove that night operations are not only viable, they are necessary.
There's clearly a huge strategic advantage to be able to attack at night. If you can't find me, you can't shoot me. What are the disadvantages? Well, now your pilots have to fly a night mission, which is high stress physiologically, and then come back and land on a carrier at night. That's not easy.
Radio man Tom Watts has been training with the pilots of Enterprise in the art of flying in the dark.
Planes are all blacked out. The exhausts on each side of the engines were covered. If you flew in formation, the guy next to you, you could look out and see his wing almost in your window there.
But if flying in the dark is difficult, landing is worse. Pilots must guide themselves through the dark to their home target using only radar. Then try to land on the bucking deck of the carrier with few visual cues.
All they had for night landing was a little string of lights up the center of the flight deck. It's a tough job in the daytime, but at nighttime it's really rough.
But Enterprise must also operate during the day, flying combat air patrol during enemy attacks, and keeping her flight deck open to receive planes that are too damaged to make it back to their home carriers. Round-the-clock combat schedules go into effect. War is now a 24-hour affair.